Halafia, brothers and sisters. Oriire Funowo. Good tidings to you. I pray that you are feeling awake, aware, and elevated in mind, body, and spirit, wherever you are, and whatever may be happening around you. Asheo. If you're striving to change your life by following the guidance of our ancestors, then you're in the right place. This is where we break things down to help you to expand your mind into the wisdom of the Ifa spiritual tradition of Orisa and Ancestor worship. And I'm grateful for you being here and participating on this channel. Itesi Waju Ati Iso Khan, progress and peace. Everything we share here is intended to assist you in making progress and finding peace in your journey towards success in life. Your goal, our goal, is consistent progress. Our target is perfection. We all just need to do the best that we can with the knowledge that we have to address any circumstance or condition that we face on our life journey, one day at a time. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Homage to the one who sends and to those who are sent. Homage to Orisha and Egun. If you're new to these video lessons, I'm Baba Umar, Oluranse Emese, voice of the MSA, member of the Isoro Traditional Council of Chiefs in Ile-Ife, Nigeria, Oluwo of the House of Umar, and Babalawo of Ile-Ife, Orisha, the House of the Mysteries of the Orisha. You can learn more about the MSA and the Isoro Traditional Council of Chiefs in the description section below and on our website. Our topic in this video is the 16 Truths of Ifa, Truth 15. The Orisha live within us, Part 1. On this day, like so many others in the past years, the world is in chaos. Before I came on to do my video, I did my morning devotions, cast my opele, and took the time to scroll through some news feeds to see, what's going on in the world, to update on what's going on in the world. It's not looking pretty. Today, the institutional structures of nations and communities are being tested. As you know, in recent years, a global pandemic, on top of everything else that was wrong with our husbandry of the planet, turned much of the world upside down as major disruptions, challenges, and obstacles swept across the globe like a tornado. Both because of the characteristics of the COVID-19 virus itself and because of a failure of leadership in many places, too many lives have been lost. Economies and businesses have been constrained to the point of near collapse and, in some cases, complete collapse. The mental and physical well-being of billions of people is being threatened, with no immediate end in sight, as the virus seeks to reassert itself along with other life-threatening diseases. The human appetite for hostility, violence, and, as we see today, war, seems to be insatiable. These same conditions are also facilitating a global rise in consciousness, which is good, and awakening. And without doubt, there will follow an eventual transformation as predicted in the sacred Odu Ifa, regarding the shift into the fifth stage of creation. A bright light has now been turned on to the dark secrets of global economics and politics, the imbalances, and on the ugly face of racial injustice and inequality. Old and young alike have experienced the face of pain, fear, hatred, frustration, and desperation. Things may appear to go back to the way they used to be, but it is a fact. There is no going back. Life before the pandemic cannot exist again. As we say, Ei ojo beko laiwatun, this day will never come again. Ei isejukan beko laika, this moment will never repeat. When I was a young guy growing up in Harlem, New York, I can remember I lived in a high-rise skyscraper, 17th floor, 17-story building. I lived on the top floor with my mother. And I'd go up on the roof and look out, panoramic view of New York. And I'd look down and I'd shake my head sometimes and say to myself, there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more to it. After going through the news this morning and casting my opele and just reflecting for a moment, I said that I got that same feeling. There's got to be more to it than this. And it's in that moment that I give thanks to Olofi-dumare for guiding me, and to my Oriire for guiding me to the path of Ifa. Because the Ifa spiritual tradition gives me some of the knowledge, some of the insight that I need to be able to navigate the confusing and negative energy that swirls around in our environment. Some may wish to go back to sleep, but the thunder of this present storm will not relent. Too much emotional energy and mental clarity has been driven to the surface. The masses of people are beginning to realize that many things will and must change. We've talked about the caterpillar going into the chrysalis to go through that rather dynamic and gross process of becoming a butterfly. It's a magnificent, a majestic process when we see the outcome. But if we could look into the chrysalis and see what that process looks like as the material of the caterpillar is going through that metamorphosis, we'd shake our head and say, damn. And that's what the world is like today. That's what I'm feeling, looking at the world and saying, damn. This is what the transition from the third and fourth stage of creation into the fifth stage of creation looks like. And Ifa tells us, yes, this is what it looks like. The change is not just about social and economic justice, but also about our relationship to Ile-Ife, Mother Earth. This is the process of Isoki, contrast and contradiction, Isopo, connectivity and interconnectedness, and Itelo, expansion, the spiritual laws of the Loja, operating in overdrive. That brings us to the questions of who will be making the necessary changes, and how will those changes come about? We're witnessing the answer to those questions as the days proceed, as the activities and the energy of the days manifest. It is certain that the answer to these questions is you. The you that will be engaged in the process of change, revolutionary change, will not be the same you that you were in the past. It will be a more enlightened, a more aware, a more powerful you, operating at a higher energetic frequency, which means you and I have to change. We have to change our decision-making process and our decisions in order to play the role that we are here to play. Our Gege Bienian, our ni Olofi-dumare yan, lati lotun Ile-Ife enia yaniwa. We as human beings, we are the God's elect, designated to renew the world. We are the chosen ones. This planet and all life on it is our responsibility, yours and mine. Some seeds and creatures can lay dormant in the earth for months, years, even decades. And then one day, they emerge into the world once again like the millions of cicadas that recently emerged across the United States after almost 2 decades of dormancy. You and I are like that. We have talents, skills, abilities, gifts, and powers that may lay dormant and maybe have laid dormant for years and decades. And then in the right season, in the right environment, under the right circumstances, we emerge like a butterfly from its chrysalis, able to do things that we could hardly imagine doing before. Could this period that you and I are living in, this experience that you and I are having, are sharing, be the very conditions for your and my transformation into a people who can love and care for an entire planet, an entire world, this world? Changed and evolved because we see. We choose Sha. To see, Orisha. To see, we choose to see. Transformed because of what we see more clearly and what we choose to do with that knowledge. At the top of each of the pages on the Ile-Ife website are links to the brief descriptions and prayers to the Ipele Akoko, the primary Orisha, in the Ifa spiritual tradition of Ancestor and Orisha worship. When we think about the characteristics, the domains, and the powers of the various Orisha, we need to see both sides of the idea of Orisha. On the one hand, for many of us, social conditioning has instructed us to put spirit outside of ourselves. The spiritual entities, Olofi-dumare, Orisha, and Irunmole, ancestors, are out there somewhere. Yes, the Orisha are sentient, energetic entities that are a matrix of possibilities held in the universal consciousness, Oriire, of the Ashe, Olofi-dumare. Their presence and responsiveness can be felt as something real as far as the mind can assess. Yet, the external objective reality, the substantive reality of the energies that we call Orisha, is only one part of the idea of Orisha. The broad complex of characteristics, domains, and powers of the various Orisha also represent the latent and dormant potentials that are the Ogunibi, the birthright of every human being. Hence, Truth 15, the Orisha live within us. Orisha ye ninua, Orisha Waninuwa, the Orisha live within us. The importance of this truth of Ifa cannot be overstated. Look at the present condition of the world. The Loja is out of balance. What the Orisha have been charged with, the responsibility to orchestrate and protect, is under assault. All of Ile-Ife's children in all of the kingdoms are suffering because of the ignorance and arrogance of man. Ifa speaks of a time like this and about what would happen. Many of us knew that a time like this was coming. Decades ago, Iya spoke these words to my Oriire. When men become arrogant in their ways, I breathe on their world. Ashe. My Iyawo, my wife, put these words on 2 quilts. She's a craftsperson, so she makes quilts and whatnot. And she put these words on 2 quilts that hang in my Ile and in my living room. The words are embedded in my heart, and I've watched things unfold as man has become more and more arrogant in his ways. These words also echo the Ifa that was given to me by the Isoro Council when I questioned them about the subject of the return of the Orisha, Itunde Orisha. Do you remember this Ifa saying that I shared with you in the last lesson and several times before? Awe atiebo nimuni ribi Orisha. Fasting and rituals transform you into the image of the Orisha. No, you're not going to become Ogun. You're not going to become Shango. You're not going to become Oshun. You're not going to become Obatala. But the energy that is represented by those names and in those entities, that vibration, that vibratory energy is in you and I. Now think about that. Think about the saying, Awe atiebo nimuni ribi Orisha, in the context of the 15th truth of Ifa. Orisha Yeninuwa. The Orisha live within us. And then consider the implications of Itunde Orisha, the return of the Orisha. Can you put the pieces together? Can you see what I see? The prophetic nature of Iya Oya's words is being revealed in this day and time, when man's arrogance has ruptured all pretense of peace and love. Not all of us are bent out of shape. Not all of us have lost our minds to the negative vibrations, the negative frequency of hatred and anger and hostility and war and disease and greed. And, we're not all there, but enough of us are there that the world is in trouble. If you don't see it as I see it, don't worry. We'll look at it together in our next video lesson. We're going to do a part 2 of this topic, Truth 15, the Orisha live within us. We'll discuss what the Ifa says about Itunde Orisha and what all of this could mean for you and for me. Brothers and sisters, if you appreciate the wisdom that we share on this channel, please help us to expand our reach and grow our audience by subscribing, clicking that like button, and leaving your comments and questions below, and sharing this channel with others. Let's work together to help our YouTube Egbe, our spiritual family, grow to 5,000 or more subscribers by this time, let's say that by this time next year. Also, don't forget to please contribute to our GoFundMe campaign for the Ifa Temple and Shrines Restoration Project. When you download the script for this lesson, you'll see the link to the GoFundMe campaign. Also, that information is posted in the updates section of the website and in the description section of this video below. I want to thank you for being a part of this spiritual family. And I do think of us as family. I love and appreciate each of you. I hope that you're growing from this information. And I read your responses, both the emails and the comments that you make on the channel. And I really, really appreciate the fact that you're listening, you're studying, and you're growing. Your life is changing as you share with me. Your life is changing because of what you're experiencing from your study of the Ifa spiritual tradition of Ancestor and Orisa worship. So keep up your studies, be diligent, and look, take care of yourselves during this period of transition that we're in. It is challenging right now for many of us, and I wish I could say otherwise, but the fact is it's going to get even more challenging. But we are protected. We are blessed to have a spiritual cocoon around us. There is a veil of protection around us from Olofi-dumare, from Oriire, from the Irunmale, from our ancestors. And as long as you're staying in tune, as long as you are functioning at that higher vibration of love and compassion and empathy and wisdom, as long as you're walking the path of Ifa and being diligent in your process of prayer and meditation and stillness and listening, you will be able to navigate this period of transition and come out on the other side as part of that magnificent butterfly that is in the process of being born. So hang in there, study, pass the word on to others. You got brothers and sisters and friends and colleagues and co-workers that may not be as informed, may not have the knowledge, the wisdom to know how to navigate the changes that are taking place. Care enough about them to say, hey, this is something that I wanted to share with you because it's helping me to better understand what we're going through. It's called the Ifa spiritual tradition of Ancestor and Orisa worship. And here's a website, here's a YouTube channel that you can go to get more information. Engage others in conversation. Engage others in hopefulness about the future so that they don't become overwhelmed and begin to experience hopelessness and helplessness. We'll talk more along these lines in our next lesson, but I'm going to keep today's lesson short. I pray that you're doing well, that you continue to do well. I say, Ki Olu-dumare Orisha ate egun fifun ni itona imoye ati opo ire. May Olu-dumare Orisha and Egun bestow on you guidance, wisdom, and abundant blessings. Ifo kanbale, peace of mind from Olu-dumare. Alafia ati Ife, peace and love. Ajo lo, ajo bo. We go out together, we return together. Ashe, ashe, asheo.